The super long video and I thought that's too long. I got to just make a shorter version. So I started again. Sedan versus SUV, right? We could throw MiniVan into the mix. We could even throw a rental into the mix. But at the end of the day, what do you make monthly and what do you spend monthly? Where do you get the highest return? What has the best opportunities as a vehicle out there? Which one would I go for? You guys know me. You guys know my channel. I'm all in with the SUV, right? The sedan, yeah, those cars will maybe put you in Excel or Comfort, etc. But with the right type of SUV, you're on Excel, you're in black. You could be on SUV and you could also be on Lyft Lux with an SUV. And the biggest thing which I teach at Rideshare, drivingschool.com, by the way, is a 30% discount beneath code, is how to use that SUV on the rideshare platforms Uber and Lyft in the maximum amount of categories. Lyft SUV, Lyft Lux, Lyft XL, Uber XL, Uber X it will also go, which you don't want to ever switch to, Uber Black, Uber SUV, and the big one, you want to use it as your private vehicle, as your private limousine with your state license. In California, it's a TCP. In New York, they call it a TNC. For me, by far, I would spend a few thousand additional dollars and get myself a good hybrid SUV versus a hybrid sedan, for example. Rentals only make sense if you are driving 10, 12 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. Yeah, in that case, maybe a Tesla rental would make sense with these ultra high gas prices. Talking about gas prices, obviously the one negative would be the SUV, but you're fitting in more people. You're getting almost double the mileage rate on XL versus the sedan. You're getting about 3 times the amount with the SUV rates, right? And you're taking 100% of your earnings if you have your TCP, your private limo license, versus handing over 50% of your ride that you generate from an SUV or a sedan. You know that Uber and Lyft take at least 50 to 60%. If you're a private driver, you're coining 100%. So all day long, bigger groups, more airport trips, way higher tips. The opportunity to load and unload baggage far bigger in an SUV, which results in tips, right? Vendors love it. Companies usually put you on their, put you down as a vendor, then hire you if you have an SUV. There's just too many advantages, at least for me, when I look at the combination sedan versus SUV. Now, I do want to hear your feedback. It all boils down to money. Most of the people would not have the money to buy a used Suburban versus maybe a used Prius, or a used Cadillac versus a used Honda Civic, for example, right? Or, maybe even a minivan like a Toyota Sienna, or like the Chrysler Pacifica, the hybrid, right? So yes, you are paying a few $1,000s more if you're investing into an SUV. But the upside over 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you can't compare. I have done this formula for years. I swear on this car, I will take emails, text messages, and phone calls if you want to discuss this. And again, I refer you to Rideshare, drivingschool.com if you really want to up your game. If and when you enroll in the video course, we also spend 30 minutes one-on-one, you and I, going over the possibilities of, getting on both platforms, building out your fleet, and having that one vehicle as your private car, and maximizing your earnings by getting as many private clients into your portfolio. That's what I teach you also on the phone after you've done the video course. We talk about these two, but I completely understand and respect if somebody, has a small car and wants to just get into the business and learn about rideshare and start off with UberX. Sure, it's a great way to get in. By far, the most safest category or safest vehicle on these platforms, because of the carjackings, the assaults, the rapes, and that is the SUV. The SUV rates gets rid of so much of that riffraff, right? The higher prices to book these things, right? From Calabasas, where I am, to the airport, you're talking about $240. You'll end up maybe with $120 after the split, but you do not have the riff-raff in the car. So for me, I'm all about more money, right? SUV is the solution. I'm all about more safety. SUV is the solution. And then really upping the game from Uber and Lyft, as I told you before. You can check the link below, ridesharedrivingschool.com, and a 30-minute phone call with me. I will teach you how to build out your private LLC, your limo company in your city, whether it's Chicago, LA. I've helped hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of drivers across the United States and overseas fulfill their dreams and become a private chauffeur, a private driver. And at the same time, they are still on Uber and Lyft, right? Especially here in the United States. A lot of drivers in LA went through my program and now have multiple SUVs, right? Thomas Gibson down in San Diego is a great example. I bring him up many, many a times. Where did he start? Over here. Where did he migrate to? Over here. And then he shot up into the setting up an LLC, getting his private license, the TCP in California, and recruiting one private client after the other, following my formula, the formula I want to teach you. Have a great night.